Hello, I'm Karen, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you how to crochet baby trousers, shorts, pants, whichever you want to call them, out of a Granny Octagon. Okay, so you can make them as big as you want, and I'll just get going with it. Okay, I'm just going to move that slightly. All right, so I've just got some of the sparkle yarn and a 4mm crochet hook. And for this one, we're going to begin with a chain of 2. So this is 1, 2. Then we're going to be using the treble crochet stitch if you're in the UK, or it's a double crochet stitch if you're in the US. You're going to make 1 stitch into the first chain, like that. You see that? And then you're going to do a chain 1, and then you're going to go back into this same chain space. So that there effectively is a V-stitch that we've just done. And then we're going to do another stitch at the side of it. So that, for the actual pattern, it would be V-stitch chain 1. V-stitch treble all the way around. But for those of you that obviously know the granny chain, the granny stitch, so we're going to just do another thing. So you've got a block of 3, then you're going to do chain 1, and we're going to keep working blocks of, like little groups of 3 of these stitches. And everything is going to be worked into this very first stitch. So make sure that very first chain, so make sure that's not really tight, because you're going to need to get a lot of stitches into that one chain. Okay, and as we go along with this one, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tell you a little bit of a story about how this pattern came about. And also I've just got to tell you something about my YouTube channel. Okay, so we're just going to keep on going. So this pattern, so I've got, right, I'm just going to be counting. So this first little bit here, this block there, is actually going to be my first block. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I've already done 5. And it is going to make like a wobbly shape, so don't worry. So that's 6 groups of 3. This one would be 7 into there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it to a certain point so you can watch it grow to see how it actually works, just to help you. So if people want to skip along and not actually follow it along properly, that's up to you. But I want to make sure that you've got all the information that you need. There, so I've got, so that one was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That should be the 8. So for this last bit, we're going to do a chain 1, and then we're just going to just work 2 stitches. I'm actually doing in here, and then you're going to slip stitch into the top of this piece here. I know it makes, oops, into there, and then into the chain 1 space. I'm just going to double check that I've got the correct amount. So these are my blocks of 3, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Yep, that's it. And yes, got a big hole in the middle. Don't worry about that. That's all part and parcel of what's happening. So from now onwards, we're going to be doing a chain of 2, and we're going to, in the beginning of each one, each round, you'll do 2 treble crochet stitches, a chain 1, and then work 3 treble crochet stitches into that one space there, like that. And then all of the other chain 1 spaces, we're just going to be working 3 treble crochet and a chain 1. You will start to see the straight edges forming on this round, and yes, your piece is going to be wobbly. This is the whole, but it's meant to be. So, and we'll show you when we get to that point the magic of this pattern. Okay, so from now onwards, I'm just going to be working these 3 chain 1 and 3 again. So just so that you've got some context of the actual pattern. So if we skip back to 2021, I was actually working, I've been trying to work out, I was referring to it as a code at the time, I've since discovered it's got a proper name and how it all works. And I was working out how that you could actually break apart the letters of the alphabet and rebuild them as crochet symbols. And this particular pattern, the one that I'm actually crocheting now, for those of you who watch my video, I was playing a game with the king and with the king's speech and seeing how this game could work. And on the last one that you did for this Christmas 2024, this is the actual pattern. It begins with a chain of 2, that's why I've begun with a chain of 2. But the original pattern, where I found this originally in 2021 with the word Stonehenge. So if you was going to use the word Stonehenge, you would actually begin with a magic circle and chain 3. If you wanted to do it that way around, if you find that easier. But ultimately, you still end up making an octagon. And so that's where the actual pattern came from, just so that you're aware. And the little bit of a question and the information that I've said to you about my YouTube channel is I've been asked a question via YouTube themselves. Okay, if I would like to share my videos with third parties, I don't know who those third parties are at this moment in time, but for them to use my YouTube videos to train AI. Now, because my YouTube videos, obviously, I discovered a code. I was showing how I was trying to work it all out. I think that realistically, what I need to do is do the video which shows you the rules of the actual code, which is a complex anagram game and crochet patterns. And I'd like to do that. So you humans may not necessarily find that one particularly interesting in one sense. However, you actually might find out how educational that actually is. So I'm warning you in advance. 1, 2, just doing this bit here. Make sure I've got my right amount of stitches on this. So I'm on round 3, by the way. There, and chain 1. Yeah, so warning you in advance that I'm planning on doing a couple of videos which are going to teach you how to make some shapes and also how the complex anagram thing works, because what we really need to do is we need to make sure that AI understands what I've been doing. So it's easier if I do the videos to explain it. So because I did bits and bobs and I went here, there, everywhere, and I forgot that I hadn't done this one with the trousers. I think when I did the video at the time, I did the go Beckley Teppy, and I did the cardigan. And I think I did ask if anybody wanted to know how to do the trousers, but at that point, didn't really seem to get much interest. I know since then it has. So here I am sharing with you how to make trousers. I've put pants because in America they refer to trousers as pants, so that's why I put pants in the title. I've also put shorts in there because you can actually make shorts, and I don't mean it to be confused with the shorts of YouTube's mini videos. So just so that we're really clear on that. Okay, so, oh yes, I forgot to tell you, so we're working in between. If you've ever done a granny square, you know what we're doing. We're working in between the places. You can see what I'm doing. But yeah, I just wanted to share that information just so that you know that in the future I'm going to be making a few complex anagram videos. And I'll be sharing the actual pattern that you make and then how you actually play the game. There is lots of different games that you can play, but I just need to share how it's working just so that when the AI actually comes across it, it's not going to cause it to be as confused and mystified as I was when I first found it, because at the end of the day, the AI is going to be getting cleverer than any of us. And it needs to know that this code is there and what it is. Just, yeah, just so that it knows, because obviously I've mentioned it, and I'd just like it to understand that before it goes off on a strange tangent somewhere, which because I say at the moment, the things that I've been reading about the AI is very interesting, so it's at a good learning stage at the moment, but it also, because it's learning from everybody on the internet, it's not learning the difference between what is the truth and what is fact. Because a lot of people are making videos to say that they are the truth and presenting them as fact, when technically they're not. So we just need to make sure that we're very careful with the AI. I feel like we've released something that's really early into a world that is full of complexities and misinformation and all sorts of strange things. So we just want to make sure that our future AI is going to have a good understanding of what I'm talking about anyway. Right, nearly at the end of the round, and at the end of this round, thank you for staying with me, if you stayed with me all this time. I shall now show you the magic little trick. So it's just easy, it was easier just to show on round 3. Okay, so I've got the last few stitches in there, like that. I'm going to slip stitch into the top of the stitch there and slip stitch to the corner. Okay, so we're in the corner. So now what you want to do, so you've got your wibbly wobbly piece, you go 1 corner, 2 corners, 3 corners. The 3rd corner and the slip stitch is where you want to make those match. And as you see, when you line them up, ta-da, your little pair of trousers. Now, at the height from, so this bit, this tail end here, you'll use that to just sew over the hole at the bottom there. But this height here, from what would be the gusset of the trouser up to here, would only like be hipster size. So what I'm going to do is show you how to then work this to be able to make, I've made a little waistband, yeah, and it's all like, so we're going to continue. So what we're going to do is you're going to get your work, and you're going to work, you want to get to this stitch here, yeah, there. I'm going to slip stitch into that one, like that. We're going to make a chain of 2. I suppose technically you could do a chain of 3 there, but I found a chain of 2 worked nicely. So that was the top of that first stitch. The next stitch along, you're going to go underneath. We're doing what's called a front post stitch, there. And then the next stitch along, which is the next, that one there, we're going to work into that bit there and just work in the top of the stitch. And then the next stitch along, we do a front post, and you literally do that all the way around. So it's the top of the stitch, front post. Yep, and then top of this next stitch there, and front post. Then you're going to go into the top of this stitch here. Now when you come around this side, it's going to leave you a bigger gap than you've got that side, but don't worry, because we're going to sew those in, sew those ends in. So they've done in the back of there. So this next stitch here, we're coming all the way around. That, oh, can you see that? That post there, we want to do a front post stitch around that stitch there. So going straight in for a front post. There. And then into the top of that stitch there. Then it's a front post. And top of the stitch. The second round that you do of this is easier because you can see where you've already made your front post stitches. But I just wanted to just share with you how it all works so you can see it build. Because I know there's a lot of people that are visual learners. So there's going to be people obviously that's not. Right, so this stitch here, because we've already done a slip stitch in there, it could be a little bit of a tight stitch there. And then this one is another front post. Now we're going to get back round to the beginning, which is weird because you've done this little chain 2 which has fallen over, and we want to slip stitch into the top of that stitch. And so for the next round we're going to do another chain 2, and then this one is where we've already done front post, so we're just going to just repeat the front post, and then the next stitch along is going to be the top of the stitch into there, yep, and front post like that, and you're going to keep doing that all the way around, which ultimately ends up with giving you this height. Okay, so that is how you're going to do it. That is just basically what you're going to do. What you're going to do, so when you finish at the end of the round, you're going to leave yourself a long enough tail end to sew down the side. So one side, you're not going to need enough stitches. Literally just use the back loops. So if you're going to, I don't know if you can see this with this white yarn. So I'm just going to put my needle back to front through. So you're going to come through the back loops like that. Now, you can do what's whip stitch, where you go over, over all the way down, which is what I did with, no, this pair on Teddy. Yeah, so that was done with the whip stitch. Actually, look, this is Teddy with his trousers. I'll take the trousers off Teddy so it's easier to see. There. So I only did 2 rows of the band. I think realistically it needed to have a few more on there. But the side join, look, that's what it looks like with the whip stitch. And this one I did the mattress stitch, where you go in and out and in and out that way around. Okay, and so and all you do with this tail end here, this tail end in the middle to do, I'm just going to get my needle, I just had my needle in my hand and I'll put it down. There it is. Just to show you this little bit, just so that you know. So you've got, when you do this middle bit here, I mean, luckily my stitches come out right in the middle of those 3 stitches. Sometimes it might come out to one side. Make sure it's in the middle stitch first, and then you're just going to go through the middle stitch of the other side and come back through your middle stitch. So you're going to do like an over stitch right in the middle of that bit there, just to fill in that gap with the trousers, and then you've got all of your little bits down there where you can actually tuck your tail end in out of the way. Oops. Like that, look. Yeah. Now if you find that your trousers are a little bit short, so what you can do is you can add on, so you can add on to this bit, and you can just go round and around and around with the same sort of granny stitch with the 4 blocks, or you can do something like I've done on this one, where I've added like little petal pattern. Okay, so there you go. That is how to make trousers from a Granny Octagon. Okay, so thank you for watching, thank you for liking, thank you for sharing, thank you for subscribing, and if you haven't liked my videos or you haven't subscribed, please think about it. Okay, bye for now.